Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
What is going on, guys? And thank you for tuning in. Why are there not more men exercising and focusing on their health and fitness? This is what we're talking about today. We got some fun things in the works at CrossFit Max, so we hope that you dig this episode. And if you do, make sure you send this to maybe one of those dudes, one of those men in your life who aren't lifting and not exercising. That would help get our message around and maybe even change their lives. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get to it. Ready? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. We in it. What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to the podcast, folks.
We are doing a nighttime, I was going to say vlog. Shout out the old days.
It's been a minute. We haven't vlogged. Actually, funnily enough, I was talking about our vlog with Eli at our Sunday Run Club this week.
Yeah, man, those were fun days when we used to do some fitness vlogging. Well, anyways, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back. If you really want a deep dive, you could probably dig up some of those vlogs. Are they offline now?
I think I've unlisted them, yeah.
Yeah, too embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah, some were good. Some were
so cringy.
so cringy, yeah. Oof.
Oh my God, I'm embarrassed. Secondhand embarrassment for myself.
Yeah. Anyways, we're doing a late night vlog, late night podcast. My mind is messed up, as you can see. And we're doing a mashup of banter topics, shameless plugs, random things going on in our life. And then we're going to dive into why the hell more men aren't working out.
Okay, I love it. I feel like these late night episodes are always a little discombobulated because we're just all over the place.
Yeah. So let's go. First thing, banter topic. First banter topic is first Father's Day yesterday.
I mean, technically second.
Technically second. Tommy was born on Father's Day last year. True that. Mm-hmm. First full Father's Day because he was born at 4 p.m.
Yeah, it's true. He was late to the party.
Yeah, 4:37 p.m.
Yeah. Should we talk about that? Because that's a funny story.
I don't know. Have we talked about this on the podcast?
I don't know.
So funny. Post pregnancy, we get home from the hospital.
It's like paperwork to fill out.
Yeah, paperwork to fill out. And Susie is sleeping, catching up on much needed sleep. And Thomas is sleeping. And I'm like, you walk out of the hospital with a binder of forms you have to fill out and information and stuff. So right. I'm sitting on the counter like, okay, well, they're all sleeping. Like, let me start tackling this. I know this is stressful for Susie, so I'll start filling in the forms. And I think it asked for, one of the forms was asking for
it's the declaration of birth.
That's what it was? Yeah, the birth certificate? Or,
in order to get the birth certificate.
Yeah, so I'm filling that out. And it says time of birth, and I didn't really know, so I just kind of...
You just guesstimated.
Yeah, I think I was just... What did I write? 4:30?
You wrote 4:40.
4:40. I was like, I think it was somewhere around 4:40. Couldn't really find the form that said the exact time, so I was like, 4:40. I actually didn't think it had to be so specific. And then I think they called us back saying, hey, the hospital records don't match.
Yeah, they were like, the hospital records and the records that you guys filled don't match. So we were just wondering. And because they called me, they were like, what time was the baby born at? And I was like, 4:37, because as the mother, you just know these things.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, that's not what you put. And I was like, what did we put?
My bad. Anyways, so... Fun story. Yeah, so we had our first, or I guess I had technically my first full Father's Day yesterday, which was pretty cool. Susie woke me up with Tommy, or she woke up with Tommy first and then let me sleep in a little bit, and then woke up and I had a nice cup of coffee.
Even better.
And a new mug from Tommy.
Yeah, new mug from Tommy. And before going in to wake Brandon up, Thomas and I spent a very long time practicing going, Dad.
Yeah, and then as soon as you actually came in the room,
I was like, come on, son,
coffee.
don't let me down.
And he said, and you're like, who's that? He's like, Dad. And I was like, yes. Aww, it was very
such
cute.
A good feeling.
Very, very fun moment.
And then
we also celebrated his first birthday
Yeah, well, come on. I didn't just get you a coffee for Father's Day.
Oh, true. You did get me
Bro.
a Ninja Creamy,
Hell
which I'm
yeah.
super pumped to try. It's those of you guys who don't know, it's like the Ninja company that makes an ice cream machine.
Yeah, so we're going to make
So we're gonna make
homemade ice cream.
some homemade protein ice cream.
Like healthy alternative ice cream.
Yeah, which if you guys don't know, I'm a huge ice cream fan. I
Yeah,
love
exactly.
ice cream. So there's a whole bunch of like Instagram accounts that make protein healthy-ish ice creams. And I am so down to try. There's like cottage cheese versions and I guess
I don't
Greek
know.
yogurt
We got to get
versions
creative
and-
up in there. I'm not sure.
So I am super pumped to start trying these variations. Right now we just have the box sitting over there staring at me, waiting to be used. But I'm very excited to open it up. I think from my knowledge, it takes about 24 hours because you have to make it and then you also have to freeze it
Yeah.
for it to become more like the
According
ice
to
cream, I
my
guess.
very brief Google search, you are correct.
yeah. So we got to get on that because I don't want to like want the ice cream and not have the ice cream, you know? So we got to start doing that this week, maybe on like Wednesday or Thursday when we have, no, not Thursday, maybe
Wednesday.
Wednesday-ish. Anyways, we'll figure out a night and yeah, I'm down for that. I'm very excited for that. I've been talking about it for like almost a year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
So you're welcome.
Best wifey ever. And then we also celebrated Tommy's first birthday, which was really cute.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Which was today.
Yeah.
And we had
1
a
year.
little party for him on the weekend. We had our friends, our family.
It was really cool. Like there was a fun moment where you and Malice and Alexa were standing next to Tommy's new like water toy that your parents bought him, and you're all like right by the babies, and your mom was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe how beautiful all three of you look." Those are a few moments, you know, where a full year. Alexa's son Felix just turned a year old the weekend prior. Malice's daughter turned a year, I guess, a couple months ago now.
2 months.
2 months now.
2 months older.
Yeah, so it's really cool. But all three of you ladies have really, it's really incredible to see you go through
How
that.
hot we look. Just say it.
It's cool to see you guys go through like, 9-10 months of
Pregnancy.
and
then now.
now look as good as all three of you look and be as fit as all three of you are. And yeah, it's a fun moment. All you guys are glowing and you all have beautiful children,
Yeah. It's
And,
the best. 1-year-olds are the best.
Yeah. And, my sarcastic humor, for those of you guys who don't know, there's this trend on Instagram.
Oh,
Where
he's got to
women-
talk about his joke. Jokes aren't funny when you explain them, love.
Well, they haven't heard this, but there's this trend on Instagram where women will take a photo of 9 months in, 9 months out, where they're at their fullest
They're
belly.
most pregnant,
And
peak
then-
pregnant.
And then 9 months after giving birth, they'll take another photo saying 9 months out, and then they'll show us side by side. So I decided to be a
Cheeky.
goofball, and
Do it with
we
the
had
dads.
a photo of Frank and Julien and myself, who
Are the
are the
dads of
partners.
those babies?
Yeah, exactly. And I put a photo, and we took a group photo holding the babies as well at that party, and then we put a photo from like when we were at a wedding a couple years ago or something like that, and then
Like pre-babies.
I put a little photo side by side of like 12 months in, 12 months out.
You guys all look the same.
Yeah. No, we look so hot.
Maybe just like a little bit more tired. A few more
Couple
grays.
more gray hairs. Yeah. yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it was really fun to have people over, family over to celebrate Tommy's 1 year. It's crazy. It's been a year.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thomas has a ton of new toys, so life is good over here
Got
right
a new
now.
basketball net for him. Which
Brandon
I'm
bought a
fucking
basketball
stoked.
net for himself.
Let's
and
go.
if Thomas is lucky, he'll get a turn.
Yeah. We got 4 basketballs and this little hoop next to us. That's freaking awesome.
Anyways, I love it.
I've had
I
a
love
few-
it.
I've
I
had
love
a
our
few-
house looks like a daycare. I don't care. I love
I've had
it.
a few messages saying that I'm not sure that was for Tommy. So
And all of those people are right.
yeah. And yeah. So on a more fun note for CrossFit, this weekend we're starting our kids class / preteens class. So, on the topic of children here, Tommy and, Flo and Felix will hopefully be in that class one day.
Yeah, Florence.
But we have two kids classes starting this weekend that Coach Daphne is going to run through.
Yes.
And I'm super pumped.
So the first one is at 10 a.m.
Yeah, from ages 4 to 8 years old.
Yeah.
And that's our CrossFit Kids class. And then at 11 a.m., we're going to have our CrossFit Preteens, which is from 9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Yeah. And yeah, I just kind of went over a little bit of the curriculum with Daphne today. And
how exciting.
yeah, it's cool. Very different style workouts.
For sure.
For the
different age
the kids,
groups.
they just got to move them, get them moving as much as possible, and just don't stop for 60 minutes, essentially. No real weightlifting, just kind of like,
fun stuff.
yeah, obstacles,
Games.
runnings, handstands, gymnastics, things like that. And then for the preteens, it's a little bit more strength
Structured.
training, but yeah, a little bit more structure, like dumbbell stuff, medicine balls, some higher skill gymnastic stuff. But really, it's just about getting these kids to move, and we're excited for that. And at the same time, parents can work out in the group class.
Yeah, that's the ding, ding, ding. The most important aspect of this is that the kids' classes are happening at the same time as the adult group classes are happening. So that means that if you have a child between the ages of 4 and 8, you can come at 10 a.m., get your workout in, unbothered, your kid's getting their workout in, and at 11 a.m. you're done. You've had a workout, the kid has had a workout, and you move on with your day. Same if you have a kid in the age ranges 9 to 12, you can do the same thing at 11 a.m. So we're trying to remove as many obstacles for the parents and as many excuses for the parents as possible. So making sure that they don't have to sacrifice their morning workout in order to get their kid to an activity or whatever.
Exactly. And we need more parents working out.
We need more parents working out, and we need more kids working out.
Yeah, heck yeah. And it's dirt cheap. $120 for
10 classes.
For 10 classes. And our members are getting a
Discount.
$20 discount. So it's $100 for 10 classes. So it is like really try to remove the friction, try to get your kids moving. And yeah, get the parents moving at the same time. Having fun.
So-
Everyone, whole family, fitness. Let's go.
We'll put the links to purchase those things maybe in the show notes.
Yeah. Okay. Banter topic over. Mashup done. Topic.
Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. Something I really want to talk about.
Tell me.
Dudes not working out.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, no, you tell me.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a dude.
So we're starting a new thing also. And this is kind of the reason for the
Inspo behind the topic.
Yes, thank
'Kay.
you. We just finish each other's sentences
We're just like, so.
in sync.
Yeah.
So I have noticed over my last 13-ish years of CrossFit that dudes, it's hard to get dudes to start CrossFit. It's hard to get dudes to commit to a program, and it's hard to get them to really change their lifestyle to focus on health and fitness. And
Tell me more.
well, I've done my fair share of regular gyms, and like I said, I've been doing CrossFit for 13 years. We've had our affiliate for the last almost 3 years now. We're coming up on 3 years. Crazy. And, there's something about like women really enjoying the structure of a group class.
Thrive. Women
And-
thrive in a group class.
And this isn't like I'm
Of course, we're
making
generalizing.
general consensus here. This is not it's not specific to every single person out there.
Not everyone fits in the box.
I am not, one of those dudes that I'm about to describe. But yeah, women love to be in a group setting, have the structure, be coached by someone.
Right.
Like they have a little bit more willpower, I guess, to keep it up after sports are done in their young adult life. And
I
for
mean, we
some
could go
reason-
into a deep sociological debate on why that is.
I don't know if we need to debate it.
Or sociological, like, dissection of why it is,
Well, Love
Probably because women are programmed from such a young age to follow orders and be skinny and all of these things.
Yeah,
So
it's
they
definitely right.
are more coachable because they are taught to be followers, not taught to be leaders. And all of these things are happening and are ingrained in who we are as people.
Wow. Maybe you just answered all my questions then.
Well, there we go. That's it. That's a wrap on this episode. Good night, folks.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like a lot of dudes will be more in the Globo gyms
Right.
without a structured plan, without a coach.
Because they're programmed to not ask for help.
Yeah. That's it, huh? Don't ask for directions, don't ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, eh? It's darn men. Stubborn dudes.
They're so dumb.
But the reality
Just kidding.
But the reality is that, like, you know, I feel like men, like a lot of men will play sports for most of their life where
True.
there is typically a coach and
team
there
sports,
is a team camaraderie aspect of it. And then what happens is they finish, you know, they turn 18, they go into university, they are told that, like, you know, like you have to study. Like the only thing that's important is studying. And then from there, you got to, you know, find a girl, get married, raise a family, and you got to provide for your family.
Right.
And the side that's not spoken about enough is the health and the fitness side of things. It's like what tends to happen is you tend to like kind of put all of that stuff on the back burner because you have to study, you have to get a really high paying job, and you have to like work your ass off, and you got to make the most money possible, and you got to try to manage your stress, and then you got to provide for your family. You got to find the right partner. You got to make sure that they're well supported as well. And then we just kind of fall off a little bit on the health side of things.
Right.
Which I see like far too often. And then also there's the element of, like the shy element of going or trying something new, going into an environment that is stressful and can cause some anxiety and make you uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And then also there's this person that's going to be, you know, I'm just saying this, it's not actually what happens, but I'm just saying this, how someone might interpret it. But there's this person just watching you and trying to get you to move in a certain way that you might not feel comfortable, or you might have to do things that you don't necessarily really want to do. You know, maybe you just want to do bench press and stuff, but you know, it's probably not the best thing for you to do twice or 3 times a week, you know?
Yeah. And maybe like, I think an element of starting CrossFit that can be maybe intimidating on the man side, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, sometimes you walk into a gym and like men have maybe more pressure on them to be strong, and nobody's strong on day one in the gym. So, you know, there's moms in the class that are going to be outlifting you at the beginning. That's like super normal. And I feel like women in general aren't so like affected by that aspect of CrossFit. You know, women in general, the expectation is not for them to be strong. So anything they lift is impressive.
Yeah.
And they don't really subscribe to the identity of needing to be strong. It comes later, I feel like, in a woman's CrossFit journey.
Yeah.
Whereas for a guy, it could maybe feel intimidating at the beginning, seeing like the amount of plates on some people's bars compared to yours, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's,
ego is huge. Yeah.
Hit the nail on the head.
Men definitely have bigger egos. But yeah, it's
or
interesting.
more fragile egos.
Yeah, true. Very true.
I feel like maybe not actually bigger egos, but more their expectation is to have a bigger ego.
Yeah, maybe.
And that just makes them actually more fragile.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I started CrossFit, I was coming out of pretty high level competitive volleyball.
Right.
And playing basketball at the same time.
You were like just 20, 19, 20?
I was 19, just turned 20, I think, when I signed up.
Right.
And I definitely missed the team stuff. I was just seeing YouTube videos of like, this was kind of just popping off. And yeah, I started CrossFit. It was super intimidating. And I'm next to like, I did the foundations, and then I get into the group classes, and yeah, there's I'm talking like a 20-year-old dude who is pretty high level athlete
Yeah.
is getting his ass whooped next to him by these like 45-year-old women who are lifting more weights than me,
For
who
sure.
are moving way faster,
For sure.
who are like doing these higher skill things that I'm like, whoa, what the heck? They're flying on the pull-up bar right now, and
Right.
I can't even get my feet higher than my hips, or I can't even like hang and pull my chin over this bar, and they're just flying over there for 40 reps. Like, what the heck is going on? Hey, like, I just finished a 12-minute AMRAP, and I'm on the ground dead after 4 minutes, and they finished the 12 minutes as if, like, you know, barely sweating, high fives, walk around. I'm like, what is going on around me right now? So yeah, it for sure, like, men have this these bigger egos, and you know, I've also experienced it as from a coaching level. Women are easier to coach in terms of like wanting to understand movement, and men
A little bit more hard-headed.
yeah, men are a little bit more hard-headed. You know, we talk about range of motion being so important, and you know, typically at the beginning of the CrossFit journey, most men are like, oh, I just want to go as heavy as possible.
Yeah, like,
you know?
shut
It's
up. Let
like,
me just lift this.
like you're pressing overhead and your elbows aren't fully locking up, you know, or you're not pressing the bar up and back slightly. You're just pressing it more in front of you, right? So
Right.
it's putting greater limitations on the shoulders. Or like the clean, you know, like, yeah, maybe I should dial it back 5-10% so that my knees aren't completely caved in the bottom of the catch of a power clean, you know, or a snatch. And like, oh, you know, I got a little twinge in this, and maybe I should be somewhat cautious versus like, oh, I'm just going to push through, power through, aggravate it a little bit more, and then be in a little bit of trouble for the next few days.
Yeah, I think that stereotypically that is the big difference. And like, this is like a small aside, but I actually studied sociology in university, and I feel like this podcast is actually just a sociology lecture. But something that's interesting about like the differences in men and women, and obviously this is like general terms here, folks. Everybody has their own category, but
Yeah.
like, women would generally not apply for a job that they don't think they're qualified for. So like, if they see a job listing, they're not going to apply for something that they don't think they're qualified for. They want to make sure that they meet all the criteria in order to apply for a job. Whereas a man is much more likely to apply for a job that he has like little to none of the criteria for.
Interesting.
And they will be more inclined to just be like confidently applying for something that they're not qualified for, versus a woman who would like undervalue herself. But in this like sort of approach to just starting CrossFit or something, it's a little bit like that. Women are like, tell me more, let me understand. Sometimes they're overthinking every move. They really want to understand everything, and they don't pretend they know anything, even though sometimes they know more than they let themselves like on to be, and they like miss confidence in that area. And then men typically, when they're brand new in the gym, they like act like they know what's going on, and they have no clue what's going on, and they're a little bit more resistant to being told they're wrong, or to be told, let's take some weight off the bar, or let's focus on proper mechanics. Whereas a woman, you have to encourage them to actually like put weight on the bar and be like more confident and like trust that they can do it. So it's kind of interesting that part of my like, it comes up in my studies all the time, and it's been years, but it's interesting that that's kind of like a man's approach to life and a woman's approach to life, and it translates exactly into their approach to starting CrossFit from our coaching side of things.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure, the mindset that people have. I think there's also just a huge missing element in people's lifestyle. Like, they just give up on sports. And
like, everybody, you mean?
I'm just talking mostly about
for
men.
the boys.
Yeah. I think women are, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in this, but women are more prone to get some activity in, or like after graduation, you know, after school, like they're more prone to get into some sort of like yoga, Pilates, CrossFit, boot camps, things like that.
True.
Whereas guys just like study, get a job, you know, and then they're missing that element of like fitness, you know. Then like they join a gym, they stop the gym, they join back the gym, they stop back the gym, you know, and they don't like build it into their routine, which is so unfortunate. And
I also think maybe this is like true or not true. I don't know. I've never lived the man's experience. But I feel like as women, or my experience of womanhood, women like seek out community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like we want to like be connected with other people and see our friends and blah, blah, blah. And like guys have their like one friend from kindergarten that they've always had and they see like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. Whereas I'm like, I need girl time. I need to like FaceTime my friends. I need to catch up. I need to like build a community. Like for me, being connected in that way, it could just be like my personality versus like your personality. I'm not saying you don't have friends. You have friends. You have a lot of friends, but I feel like your need for community is lower than mine.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know
You're
if
not
that's a
wrong.
man versus woman thing or just a Susie versus Brandon thing, but
Well,
I feel like
not-
a lot
not-
of the
not
partners.
you versus me, both of us. I mean, that's the reason I joined CrossFit, was to have like a community. That was one of my biggest things. Was like that was my happy place. Like seeing those people in the gym was my 1 hour of the day where I was ultra happy. That's why I started CrossFit.
Yeah, but what I'm just saying is that like the
Dynamic.
need for the social
Yeah.
side, I
Yeah.
feel like maybe the need is the same in both people, but women are really active in seeking out
Yeah, for sure. I
like
agree.
social and connection.
Yeah.
I feel like like me and my girlfriends, you know, like there's always something on the calendar
Yeah,
versus I feel like more typically all of our husbands are like, oh, I just so happen to have a tea time. Like, I guess I'll go with this guy. But like, you're
Yeah.
not seeking out community in the same way.
Yeah.
And
But I also think that we're not seeking it out in the proper way. I think the guys will like seek it out in like, let's go to the bar.
right.
Like, let's go out and get a drink. Let's go out and get some food.
Right.
Let's, let's go. Like golfing is great, but it's, you know, for many people, it's like, yeah, let's go golfing, but like drink a few beers while we're golfing. You know?
Right.
So I think that, yeah, you're definitely right that women will seek things for the community aspect, and there'll be a lot of guys that don't seek that out because I think they just like I said, they don't have it built into their lifestyle.
I
You
agree.
know? And I think a lot of men, when they get into like probably their later 20s and they start having some more like serious responsibility in life, they've already have the habit of not going to the gym.
Right.
So adding in the responsibilities of, let's say, marriage, and then maybe children. And starting a family. And also maybe at that point you've started your career and now you're some years in, you know, we're talking like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
So now you have more responsibility at
Advancement
work.
at work. Yeah.
And then it's just like now you're sitting at 10, 15 years in of not doing any sort of activity. You've got this like beer belly, this gut growing. You're very inactive. You're sedentary for most of the day. And then it's like, hey man, like maybe we should work out a little. And it's like, oh, I don't have time for that. You know, like there's no time for that. I have kids. I have a family. I have a job. Too stressful. Like can't manage that. You know.
Right. So what do we do?
Yeah. Well,
How do we help?
I think what I'm looking forward to doing is removing the most amount of friction possible.
Yeah. We
So-
like that. That's our sort of motto this year, seems to be remove friction.
Yeah, for sure. The more friction there is to starting something, the harder it's going to be and the less likely it's going to be for someone.
100%.
Right? If the gym is an hour away from your place, it's going to be really
Lot of
hard to
friction.
get there. If there's gym is 100 meters from your place, it's going to be very minimal friction to get there. Right. So the least amount of friction possible, the more likely we're going to get that person moving.
Absolutely.
So on Friday nights, we're going to be starting a cool club called The Locker Room, which I think is
boys.
it's going to be an all dudes class. And
It's gonna
essentially,
stink in the gym.
it's on Fridays at 6:15, starting June 27th, and it's going to be every Friday at 6:15. And it's just to get dudes at the gym moving their bodies in a fun, dynamic way,
It's like an hour class.
working hard, pushing each other, lifting each other up, like just having a good session all together, and just focusing on getting some activity in, like learning how to set yourself as a priority so that you can be better for your work, so you can be better for your family. And so many people don't realize that when you don't focus on your health and you're not exercising, you're much more stressed. You can't manage the stress from family and work and other responsibilities in life. You are sluggish. Your energy levels just are so low. You're impatient. You don't want to get out there with your kids and play the sports or coach them in the sports, right?
Right.
You don't even have the physical capability of running around with them and carrying them and playing with them. After school, they want to just go and play at the soccer field for an hour, and you can't even keep up. You can't even run with them. Or after like 10 minutes, you're like huffing and puffing and need a break, right?
Yeah.
So it's teaching these people, because remember, the gym isn't just a workout. The gym is a part of your lifestyle that's supposed to help improve all the elements of your health, right?
100%.
All the other things. So you're only in the gym for 60 minutes. Our job is not to get you good at gym. Our job is to get you good for life, right? There's 23 other hours in the day, right? And if you look in a week, there's 168 hours in a week. And if you're doing a 4-day per week, that's 4 hours out of 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
And even then, that's way, way above the average person's exercise time, right?
Yeah, which is like
the average men's
terrifying.
exercise time, I don't even know what it is, but it's quite low. It would be shockingly low, right? So 6:15 Fridays, starting June 27th, and every Friday at 6:15, a completely free session. Completely free. Friends, family, members, neighbors, people flying in from a different country.
What if they've never done CrossFit before? Can they come?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really like lower skill movements. So it's not going to be like snatches and muscle ups and things like that. It's going to be really like a open to all entry level, but entry level meaning that doesn't mean easy. Like people think that like entry level being like, okay, well, I'm probably too good for that, right? Like I can do cleans and snatches, so this is probably not going to be a good class for me. No, I'm just talking about simplifying the movements, right? Instead of doing push jerks, we're going to do some barbell pressing, right? And your shoulders are going to get a serious pump in them, right? And instead of doing muscle ups, we're going to do some strict pull ups, right? And instead of doing squat cleans and stuff, it's like, oh, we're just going to do some dumbbell front squats, right? Like we're going to simplify the movements to make it as accessible as possible for anyone and everyone, and just get a bunch of guys starting to focus on their health so that they can be better for their families, better for their partners, better for their work environment, better for their colleagues and everything.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great idea.
And yeah, hopefully get some
the locker room.
Yeah, the locker room.
The stinky boys. That's what I think of when I hear locker room.
That's because you've never been part of a locker room, okay?
I haven't.
No.
I have not, thankfully. God bless.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm hoping that, what I think.
I was going to say, what is your like goal? What is the dream outcome?
What I think and hope happens is that our members, the boys in our community, the men in our community, lead the charge and invite all of these friends of theirs who have been everything we just said in this podcast.
I'm probably chirping them about doing CrossFit and,
What do you mean?
Like, guy friends bully each other. It's like your love language.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like, if you're the one of all your friends who starts a new thing, that makes you a little bit of a target for some gentle bullying.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's a chance to invite your other guy friends into your world. Maybe the same ones who were kind of like, oh, you started CrossFit. Oh, look at Brandon and his CrossFit. And now they're going to
Yeah.
be like, oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
know
true.
what? I would love to start it.
All my like dude friends, I mean, most of them are no longer
Living in Montreal,
in Quebec anymore. But yeah, a lot of them, when I first started CrossFit, like none of them were down at all to start. I tried to get them to come and they were like, no, it's not for me, you know? And they were pretty much that. Like they were the gym goers and then the cancelers, and then they didn't do anything for periods of their life. And then they did at home stuff.
And now they all turn 30, they're runners.
Some of them are runners. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. They've kind of kept up in certain ways here and there along the years. But yeah, it's true. When I started CrossFit, they were all like, ooh, he's doing CrossFit, you.
But I feel like that's what
a lot of dudes go through.
Stereotypically, this is what happens. The wife or the girlfriend starts CrossFit and the husband is like, meh. And eventually, with lots of encouragement, they join.
Yeah.
And now those guys are like the biggest diehard CrossFitters. And so I feel like those are the right people to be the inviters of new guys into the community, because I feel like they have been on both sides.
Yeah,
They've been
for
on
sure.
the side of resistance, and now they're on the side of assimilation.
Yeah. And like the fun thing is like once they're into CrossFit, once they actually get a taste for it, that they love it, you know, like
100%.
they love walking out of there being like, oh shit, like my
feel
delts
good,
got
yeah.
like a pump right now. Like my arms are feeling twice the size. Like, you know, I got some good cardio in there that I haven't felt that in a long time, versus like what people probably think. It's like, I'm going to die. I'm going to be on the ground. I'm going to throw up after the workout. It's like, no,
It's not the point, guys.
It's not the point. Like the point is to get you and the boys into a workout, pumping each other up. Like, let's go. Let's like, hey, don't bring your shit attitude and just complain here. It's like, no, like you show up, like no excuses. I put it on the Friday night. Sure, it's not the optimal time for, let's say, you know, with families and things like that, but it's a time that almost all men
Are available.
on Friday nights. It's just now you have to willingly make the choice to either focus on your health or not focus on your health. Other days of the week, it could be tough. You know, kids have practices and games or this and that or, you know, work projects and stuff. But on Friday night, it's very unlikely that you're doing anything. You're probably just at home. So it's like, hey, you've put your health aside for so many of these days. Like, hey, get your ass up. Let's go. Friday evening, you'll be gone from, let's say, 6-ish to 7:30-ish. You'll be back at home. And you can do whatever the heck you want for the rest of your Friday night. You know, you want to go for a date night with the wife, you go for a date night after that, you know.
With your pump.
With your pump, looking good in your shirt.
You're welcome.
And then, yeah, you know, you want to do movie night with the kids, you can do movie night with the kids, you know, like whatever the heck that is. Like, hey, dad needs to go get his session, or whoever that is, whatever dude needs to get out and like get his workout in, focus on his health. Like, too many guys are just like so out of shape. Like
The dad bod is a phenomenon that needs to end.
yeah, it is. Yeah, we need to redefine the dad bod.
We're single-handedly going to redefine the dad bod.
Yeah, it's funny. People have told me like my whole life since I've been like exercising, and go, just you wait, just you wait. Yeah,
yeah.
when you hit your 20s, yeah, just you wait. Oh, we'll wait till you get a real job. Like when you get a job, then that's when you're gonna, you know, start to or stop exercising, you know, like, oh, wait till you get a wife, wait till you get, you know, start a family, you know. It's like, well, you know, I'm turning 32 this year and I don't plan on stopping, you know. And I know a lot of people that are in their late 30s, mid 40s, 50s. Your dad in his, like, you know, late 60s now, crushing marathons, you know, like there is no stopping, you know. And there's ebbs and flows on like intensity and weightlifting and stuff, you know. Like I did a power clean today that was, I hit 260 and I was super pumped about that power clean. That's like 20 pounds off like my heaviest I've done when I was like in my mid 20s. So for sure, like some of the things start to change and alternate, but that doesn't mean like you just stop exercising and you can't bring intensity on or improve on other aspects of fitness.
Yeah, I think every life has different seasons, and some seasons can be more selfish, and some seasons you have to be more selfless. You know, when your kids are young, you have to really be there when you have to pour into them, and then they grow up and you kind of get, you know, life is just full of seasons. But I think that what we're trying to do here is remind the men of the world that no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what season you're in, prioritizing your health is always going to be really important. And so by removing all or as many friction points as we can, removing the fees, removing the time of day, whatever it is, we're trying to get more guys having these conversations and realizing that their health is important. And then, I mean, the real hope is that this turns into people coming more than just one night a week,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
and
Yeah.
they start to buy into the lifestyle
just an
and the
entry point.
mentality and, you know, gives us a chance to kind of build people's confidence back up, or maybe make them fall in love with sports again, or make them fall in love with themselves or fitness again, or whatever it is, or for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, this kind of like mission is a little inspired by Jason Khalipa. If you guys don't know who Jason Khalipa is, he was the first CrossFit Games champion back in 2007, I think.
Oh my gosh.
And anyways, really well known OG CrossFit Games athlete. He was the what's the name? He was the founder of one of the biggest CrossFit franchises for a while. So he owned CrossFit NCR, I think it was called. No, not NCR. Oh shoot, I'm gonna butcher it.
NTF?
NorCal Fit.
Let me Google it.
Shoot, I think it might have been NC Fit.
NC Fit, I feel like, was the rebrand.
It was NorCal. Anyways, doesn't matter. Just check out Jason Khalipa, and he's got something called Train Hard right now, and he's been working on this type of mission as well. And yeah, he posted something the other day that I thought was really interesting.
Fit, you were right.
It was NC Fit? Yeah. So he posted something the other day, and it was like, you know, a lot of dads say that they would die
for
their family.
I've seen this,
like, well, would you live for them? You know,
would you get healthy for them?
Would you get healthy? Would you get strong for them? You know, like that shit's powerful, and not enough men are thinking like that, you know?
Yeah, I think you would ask like any dad on the street, would you die for your kid? And they wouldn't hesitate saying yes. But then if you were to ask them, well, would you get healthy for your kid? I wonder how many of them would have a oh shit moment.
Yeah, for sure. Not many. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Yeah. So that's our mission. Our mission is to get men to start, you know, taking charge of their lifestyle in a healthy and fit way, and then be productive and be better for their families, their wives, their own health, their work, whatever the heck that is, whatever their mission is in life. It should revolve around them being as healthy as possible and being the best version of themselves, and really like being like doing fitness, doing CrossFit is what's going to make them better at everything else, and that's what we need to do. I
feel like also there's a lot of like woven in value of having like a boys' night at the gym. You know, it's nice to have somewhere where you can let loose from the stresses of your life and share maybe things that are going on with other men who understand the mental load or the struggle of what it is to be like the man of the family, and, you know, lean on each other, create that sense of community that can be really supportive. You know, like it's very commonly spoken about now that like men in general suffer the most in silence when it comes to all like mental health issues and things like that. And like these types of community-based things can hopefully help with that like without directly saying it.
Hell yeah.
So you can all talk about your feelings, sing songs, and kumbaya.
Thanks, Steph.
Or just lift heavy or whatever.
Yeah. So Locker Room starting June 27th, 6:15 p.m. free for any one that wants it. Let's go.
Except for the girls. No girls.
No girls. Just boys. Sorry. Just men.
We're not mad.
Anyways, client of the week.
Pew, 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 pew. I forgot. Oh my God.
I was like, are we going to do this? Or why are you staring at me blankly right now?
I'm so sorry. It's been what? Like, this is episode 114?
100 something episodes.
And I forgot my pew, 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 pew.
That
Damn.
client is a new dad. Ish now. It's been a year.
He's got a 1-year-old.
He's got a 1-year-old now.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely crushing it. He was someone that was, when the baby came around, was leaning towards the, I don't know how I'm going to fit this. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to exercise. But then took a
Turn for the better.
Hard Tokyo
It's been
drift
very
turn.
consistent.
It's been ultra consistent. His weights have been going up. His effort in the workout has been going up. And he's also a pretty good DJ.
And
So
he's a really good friend.
Shout out to Francis,
Monsieur Laurent.
Mr. Frank, DJ Navidad. Thank you for being an awesome client. It's been really cool to see your progression over the last, you've been here since the gym opened.
Day 1.
And it's been really cool to see him, when I started CrossFit, Frank was at a really, really high level. And then he kind of took this as more of like a casual,
For
like for
funsies.
fun, health, stayed pretty fit throughout. And it's been actually really fun to see him. I feel like over the last few months, he's put in some like harder efforts on
Maybe
his
he
strength.
started taking creatine.
Maybe.
Just kidding.
Maybe. But, he's been really putting in, like, I would say over the last year, like really trying to like lift heavier weights.
He's a beast.
And it's been really cool to see his progressions in the weightlifting, but then also like his cardio is really coming back. And yeah, it's really cool to watch his progression. So shout out to
He's been
Frankie.
killing it.
Thanks for being an awesome dude. Thanks for being a good friend. And thanks for being an awesome DJ as well.
Yo, shout out. Hit him up.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Remember, men, Friday nights, locker room, 6:15. Let's go. We'll see you in the next one. See ya.